right, good morning, Cadre. As promised, here for another Bad Blade review. So it's Monday, Martin Luther King Day. I've got the day off, so everything kind of got pushed back a day, but we'll be back on Sunday of next week for another Bad Blade review as well. So we'll jump right into it. On deck today, we're going to continue with the chiseled face Ghost Town Barber, but I'm going to give it a couple of frost drops from Sterling. I like this stuff and kind of feel like a little bit more of a colder shave today. I also have the Sterling Kong brush soaking in my Old Spice mug. On deck today is a blade that I am actually a little bit nervous to use, and not because it's like a no-name brand or something along those lines. Actually, we all know this brand very well. The yappy dog must be chasing the cat. Apologize for that. But what it is the thin Gillette blade. I'm going to see if you guys can make this out. Right there on the date. It says 1938. 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm not going to edit it out. It is what it is. Got a dog. But anyway, so it's a 1938 by Gillette Safety Company. They are made in the USA, so in Boston is when this was made. So I did some research. We'll talk about it a little bit. So I'm nervous about this blade because it's an older blade. So, and then apparently it's also got patents in Argentina, Bolivia, Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Philippine Islands, and Puerto Rico. That's what it says. It makes sense because what I read a little bit is that this was marketed in other countries as well as an American blade. Here's what it looks like now. If it's rusted, we're scrapping this because I didn't do any other research on any other blade. So let's see here. I'm up on my tetanus, but I don't really want to deal with all of that. So, okay. It's like machined. From what I read, these are stainless steel blades, so I don't know what this coating is they put on it. Made in the USA, known the world over. From the registered with the US Patent Office. Okay. It looks safe, so we're going to use it. I'm going to load it into my timeless. I should have unscrewed this before I went and started recording. I did not. This will be interesting. We are loaded up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you guys, placing you on a brief hold. Be right back. Okay, so the lather is built. So remember, this blade is from 1938. Some of the reading that I did is that they were made between then and the 40s. Somewhere in the 40s, it sounds like. And this was kind of the blade. You know, you'd go down to your local store and kind of like how now you'd go buy Mach 3s or Mach 5s. This was one of them. And it sucks. It's hard to give a real opinion on this blade because it's so old. I don't know. I would assume an edge could stand up over time. But it's very pulley. You can find these blades on eBay still, and some people will use them. I'm not breeding with a lot of success. A lot of people just like to get them and say they used a vintage blade. So if that's your thing, you can still find these sometimes. But Gillette Thin is making a resurgence. From my understanding is that it is the naming. They're being made in, I think, India. I don't know if it's following the same process or anything along those lines. I didn't do that much research in that regard. But a lot of historical stuff on this. You do search these blades, you're going to find a bunch of like old vintage ads and stuff along those lines, and like really cool display cases and things along like that, you know, that they did back in the day. It's mellowing out, which is good. The first couple strokes were pretty rough. I don't know if I could really recommend this to anybody. It's not a great feeling. Definitely not as sharp as some of our modern blades that we're using. I'm gonna pause you guys rinse, and I reopened one of those cuts from yesterday's shave. If you haven't watched the recording I put up yesterday, that was rough, man. And I clearly reopened some stuff up and re-irritated my neck from yesterday. That's irritation from yesterday, actually. All this right over here. That's reopening. Hopefully I don't re-tag that one. It was ugly. So I'll pause you guys, be right back for the last pass. So things that I've read about these blades is a lot of people talk about like how, you know, consistency back in the day wasn't as high. They didn't have the same type of technology and manufacturing to ensure that the same, you know, quality control was up as high as it is today, the same types of standards. So if you think about it, that makes sense, right? That these types of blades probably, you know, sometimes you have good packs, sometimes you have bad packs. You know, the consistency wasn't as good. I mean, you hear about it still in modern shaving, but not as often. And I think that's just because, you know, our quality control is higher in manufacturing. So I'm not like saying I got a bad blade or anything like that. I mean, the blade is clearly cutting. I can feel it. It's definitely just more rough. It's not as smooth as modern blades. And to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. But it's neat, you know, to use something that's this old, you know, because this is the way that they shaved back then. And that's one of the, I think, the reasons why a lot of us like shaving this way, is it's nostalgic. Even though, you know, I wasn't alive, obviously. It's neat to know that my grandfather stood in front of the mirror. He used a similar brush, a razor. Probably didn't look exactly like this. It was a Gillette, and I own it. And probably loaded with one of these blades, one time or another. That's what I like about this hobby. Not to mention, I love connecting with people who tend to have similar values, not just across the United States, but across the globe. That's another thing that's really neat about this hobby. So, a little off topic there, but it relates because we're using a vintage blade. So I'm going to pause you guys, clean up a little bit. We'll be back for post-shave and final thoughts on this blade. Okay, back. I used some witch hazel. That was a good one to use on the end there. Some Thayers. I've been using the cucumber lately. I'm running low though, so the next time I'm at the store that sells it here, I'll probably pick some up. But it was good. Gonna use this. I have a feeling it's gonna sting again. I still have some irritation left over from yesterday's horrible shave. This blade, though, you know, it's okay. It's nothing great, nothing to write home about. If you have a vintage one of these laying around and you want to use it, you know, go ahead and give it a go. I'm not gonna like go out and scour eBay and try to stock up on them or anything like that. It's not worth it. Modern blades are better, in my opinion, at least compared to this one. So, modern DE blades. So there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll get this video posted soon, and aside from that, I'm going to go downstairs, have some coffee and some breakfast, and then my son and I are going to go to the barber and get some haircuts. Much needed. So, hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys on the pages. Bye, Cadre.